After this period of me talking, the remainder of the video footage follows me walking down Water Street into the incident, continuing to record as I go along follows. With that, if you're involved in the incident, I would advise that you don't watch it, because obviously it is quite distressing. It is distressing. You see people upset, running away from the scene. You see people, you can hear people crying in the background, particularly children. You see people just generally distraught and distressed. Now, with that, of course, the obvious question will be, well, why would you post that? And I understand that question, and I've spent some time wondering whether I should. However, I think it personally needs to be posted because there are people in the comments section on other YouTube channels, and I won't name them YouTube channels, because to be fair, they are YouTube channels that I know I watch and probably will watch again at some point. But in the comment sections, you'll see people saying it was a psyop, it was crisis actors, it was a staged event. Now, from your side, I can see your perspective because I get apparently Keir Starmer was in the area, or his advisors were in the area the day before, apparently. Also, the footage of the man in question calmly closing the closed door. You know, I understand the speculations and all the rest of it. However, I'm boots on the ground. I was there, as you'll see. By chance, I stood on Water Street at the top, filming as the crowds made their way up. People have commented there's no police to be seen. So this broadens your perspective, right, on what you want to think. But ultimately, in one way, I suppose it is disrespectful to the victims to post this and the people who are on that street at that time, but also it's done to show you some respect as well in regards to people who think, you were crisis actors or you were part of a fake event or a staged event. There's some people who even mentioned AI, and this was like an artificial intelligence set. Can you imagine how? So it would mean everyone involved. You got people from all around the world that attended that event. You got people I've met over the last couple of few days who are from Australia, China, America. Literally people from all over the world, and you've got people from all across the country that were there. So we'd all have to be staged actors, and you see the enormous crowds passing up at that time. They'd all have to be stage actors as well. It's just utter nonsense. I'm sorry. From the side of the driver's side, and the weird chance that the barrier was open at the specific time when the most amount of people were coming up, it's 50-50. I mean, I can speculate whether it was. You can speculate from the conspiracy side that it was left open because this was some psyop, government fake, whatever. Or it could just genuinely be a tragic sequence of events where someone made a mistake, the barrier was left open, this man, the alleged man, driving through the crowds because perhaps he'd been down there, and I don't know, I don't want to get dragged into that world of speculation. But as far as the ordinary people like myself who were on that street at that time, it needs to stop all this stuff going on about crisis actors and a staged event, because it's extremely disrespectful to the people who got injured on that day. And had I not read all these comments about a staged event or crisis actors, I wouldn't be posting it out of respect to the people who've been involved. But I'm left with no other option, I believe, because this will conclude, or this staged psyop, aside from the victim side, from the people on the street at the time. I've blurred out particular moments where people have made eye contact with the camera lens, because you don't know what's going through their mind at that point. I've blurred out moments where there's any victims. Thankfully there's no faces that can be seen anyway, but certain moments that I thought were a bit sensitive I've blurred out. I did contemplate whether turning the audio down and just describing what was happening, but then again, I think I've left the audio there for the horror show that it was, because it will hopefully show some of these people who have gone on about crisis actors the horror show that it was. It really brings it home. It's ground on the boots. There's people who've been going on. There's no footage available, but despite there's so many mobile phones, and some people have said that they couldn't get any network coverage. Well, let me cement that for you as well. In Wembley, where I was a week before, you couldn't get phone signal there because there's so many people using the signal at the time. It's nothing to do with they've blocked out all the phone signals. It's because there's so many people in that area once, and the amount of data that it's using. So that ends that as well. As I continue on down this road of reasonable, rational answers, it kind of sort of puts aside the conspiracy side of all this. I don't know. I don't want to get sucked into that debate between the two. I don't know what happened on the driver's side, and I don't know the events leading up to it and why the barrier was left open, etc., etc. So, as I say, I'm going to say finally, I apologise to the victims for posting this, but ultimately, I am actually doing this for you, and for anyone who's on that street on that day, because there's people out there who believed it was fake, as I've proved here. I've also blurred out these people's usernames so we don't get any grief. You know that they're entitled to opinions, but this should bring that theory to an end. So finally, you know, from here, the video footage goes live, and you know, if you are going to leave a comment, you know, just think before you write anything, and I would say don't give the video a like, because there's nothing to like about it. Okay, so that's that.
Fucking idiot.
nice, wasn't it? I got it on. I know. I got it on camera because I was recording at the time. Fucking hell.
Excuse me, sir. Thank you. Go on, mate. Come on, come on.
Come for me, little brother.
Go for it, mate. Go on.
Come for me, little boys.
Go for it. Excuse me. Sorry. Let's get off the street. Mate, come on, get yourself in trouble.
People, get back! Lose your legs, get your legs together.
Mate, calm down.
Guys, off the road! Stay off the road! Stay off the road! Wait a minute. We're not 5 miles away. Things explode.
Most people down here don't even know anything's happened yet. Don't go there, it's been a car ramming.
What?
There's been a car ramming up there. Don't go over there. Obviously that lot are totally unaware of what's just happened.
We don't even know what's going on.
I've got to stop, yeah. We're lucky to not know what's just happened. Fucking hell, I actually just can't believe everything that's just... Thankfully, not too many people are aware of anything that's happened down here. They're going to be... Oh, I'm lost for words. I'm just probably not going to do it.